congratulations on this performance. In both Malcolm and Marie and Euphoria, you portray women with control issues. So how important is control to you? And do you feel personally?
Yeah, I feel like with Rue, she has a lack of control. And I think Rue is in a separate part of her kind of sobriety journey than Marie, who per se feels like she's like maybe a little bit on the other side of her journey. That is still a journey. But she feels, I think maybe for the same reason that Rue feels like she has no control, she feels the need to over control everything. And so it's really interesting because I can relate to that for sure. I mean, I've been called controlling. I used to get in trouble. Well, I didn't really get in trouble because I was kind of a goody two shoes in school, but I would get the note in school that I was bossy because when I would do a group project, I would take it over because I just didn't want anybody to mess it up. So I would tell everybody what to do. You do this, you make sure you do that. Like I was always just like trying to make sure everything was in control because I wanted like the best outcome. So yes, that is in my nature. Maybe it's because I'm a Virgo. I don't know. But that is very much a relatable thing for me.
The other sentence that really struck me was when she goes out into the garden, she says, I didn't grow up with a garden. I'm sure you did. But what was the secret place that you used to go to, maybe as a kid or even now, to escape?
Right. Yeah, she says, yeah, I didn't grow up with a backyard and the novelty hasn't worn off yet, which I love that as a reasoning for peeing outside. But for me, I'm trying to say, honestly, it was probably like most kids, my imagination, I don't think it was a specific place. I would do that thing because I'm very grateful. I have two parents who are educators and they pretty much provided everything I could have needed with their very humble, earnings. But I didn't know that there was any issue. I was having a great time. My parents provided very well for me. But in my room, I would just kind of make up these scenarios. Like I was always acting, I was putting on full productions for my parents in the living room, or I was in my room just pretending to be, I would make up a character and I would totally live it out. And you couldn't tell me that my room was not this thing that I saw in my head. It was, it was a stage, it was a apartment, it was a this, it was a that. Like I was on location in my bedroom, so I've always been that's always kind of been my escape, I think, in a lot of ways, and still is, which I think is why I love acting. I get to fall into these different people.
The scene of you picking up shoes, and I know that you have your own clothing line coming out, but what I want to ask you is when you get home, do you drop everything on the floor or do you pick it up?
Drop everything on the floor. And I will say that those shoes, because we were all like kind of doing four or five different jobs at once, because we were kind of doing this with our own money and with our own whatever, those are my shoes that I brought from home, and I'm like chucking them, and I made sure I put a blanket on the ground so I didn't mess them up, because like those are my shoes, I don't want to mess them up.
Okay, great, thank you, I love that. I do that too.